Okay, now there is another way we can deal with collisions, and it's called chaining. And the idea of chaining is that rather than looking elsewhere in the table to hold our data on a collision, we can just make our bucket hold multiple items. And one way we can make a bucket hold multiple items is to make it a linked list. And so we're going to reimagine that our hash table array is really an array of lists. So for example, when we hash into index 3 and we want to insert a new data item there, we can just append it to a linked list whose head is stored at index 3 in this hash table array. Right, so the table is now an array of linked lists, and a collision will not prevent insertion. We might have a collision, but that's fine. So now, you know, at index 3, I have 2 entries instead of 1. So this changes the way we would design our hash table quite a bit. So I'm going to make a different class called integerSetHTChain. And in this chained version of the hash table, I'll have a list. I'll have an array that's actually an array of list pointers. And we're still storing integers. So I'm just using a generic list here to indicate that just to make things a little bit simpler. So I'm saying I have a list of integers, and each entry in the table is a pointer to a list. And well, actually, each entry in the table here is a list object, which, as we know, is really just a head and tail pointer that's pointing off to some nodes stored somewhere else. So let's see how these things get implemented. So when in the constructor, I'm going to need to allocate an array of lists. And so I just do this the way I normally make an array. The only difference now is that each entry in my array is a list object. And the default constructor would get called to initialize all of these objects. Then when I want to do an insertion, my code's very simple. I don't really need to handle collisions in any smart way. All I need to do is insert the new item data into the list whose head is at the index we calculate with our hash function. So we just get the list stored at this location in the table array, and then we insert data into that list. So it's always going to succeed because it doesn't matter if there's a collision because we can always add more items into that bucket. Okay, when we want to do a search, what we do is we just find the list at the hash index, and then iterate over that list and to see if we can find a matching data item. And if we find a matching data item, we return true, but if we get to the end of the list, then we know it wasn't there and we return false, saying we couldn't find the data. And then for remove, it's very similar. We again get an iterator into the list at that particular index in the hash table, and we loop through that list, and if we find matching data, then we remove it from the list. Otherwise, if we get to the end of the list and we never find it, then we just return false. Actually, my iterator here for this list is a little bit non-standard, but I think that you can still make sense of what's going on in this code. Okay, so one thing you may be thinking is, okay, a linked list just seems less efficient than using linear probing. And it is true that each operation on a linked list is a little more expensive than any single operation on an array. So there's going to be a little more overhead to using a list for our bucket, but in general, we're still going to achieve O1, even if we use a list here. And here's how you can know this. So assume we put, m items in a size in hash table, and we have a perfect hash function, one that never has a collision. What that means is that on average, each bucket or each chain is going to be, n and m are going to be related by some constant factor, right? So the number of items that are going to go, really what this is saying is like C is some sort of ratio that tells us how many items go in each bucket, where C is some kind of constant. And so each bucket is going to have m divided by n number of items. And so that's going to be equal to 1 over C. And this ratio, 1 over C, has to be less than 1. And so what that means is that in any given bucket, I'm going to have less than 1 operations to, on average, to find an item in that chain. Okay, now, so if all of that works out to be true, then we have very efficient access. Now, of course, there's no such thing as a perfect hash function that always spreads objects evenly. And so it may be the case that occasionally we put two things into the same bucket. So it's very important that we size our table large enough and have a good enough hash table so that the odds of having multiple things in a chain are low. But the other thing we can do is that if we get too many things in one chain, we can resize the table to re-spread out the items across the table. And we might need to do that if any one chain gets too long. Because let's say in the worst case, we hashed everything into one bucket. Then we would just be reducing to linked list behavior, and that'd be very bad. So we really need to bound the length of any given chain to a constant length. The same way we had to bound the probe distance, we need to bound the chain length and make sure that the length of any single list never gets too long. Okay, so chaining allocates a linked list for each bucket, guaranteeing insertion even in the case of collisions. And even though it's 0.1 on average, managing a list has slightly higher constant time cost than linear probing. Also, if the hash function is poor, a single bucket's list could grow very long. So it's important to bound the length of a chain to a constant to keep search 0.1. And the way we're going to deal with fixing it if it does get too long is we're going to resize the hash table, and we're going to talk about how to resize the hash table briefly next.